Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. First of all, I do apologise for cutting the show early this afternoon. I only had a half an hour, and we just about almost got to a half an hour, and my little girl came home. So daddy duties had to start, so the show had to end, unfortunately. It was just getting fired up in that debate as well about Maxi, but I'm sure we can carry it on tonight. The bad news is what we expected, though. Man United are winning 1-0 away to Nottingham Forest. Obviously, we would prefer Nottingham Forest in the final. Who wouldn't? But I'm not scared of Man United. We're going to fuck them over if we get to the final. So there you go. Right. Normally it's got to get girls night tonight, but most of the girls are unavailable. Caitlin's going to join in soon, so it's going to be the boys and the girl. It's going to be fun. Let's bring Blade and Gary in. How we doing, gentlemen?
Not bad.
Or should I say, how are we doing, ladies, since it's ladies' night?
I know. Well, I just got your message now.
I know. I'm terrible at doing things last minute. I really am at times. Ian says about 3 times, I think. Evening Buzzer. Come on, the two know me. Evening Buzzer. That's me out, my good man. Hi and bye. Show shared Barry on social media. Yeah. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate your hard work. Please, guys, check out Paul's channel. He does some good stuff. He's playing his guitar and all that sort of stuff. So you like that sort of thing, go and smash a thumbs up on his videos. I have. So please help support him. He supports all the channels, even though only some of them support him back. Everyone needs to get involved in it. It's a good laugh. Sorry, still got this stupid cough. If anyone would like to become a member tonight, link is at the top of the chat. Remember, we'll put your names up in lights during the show when we can. 99p gets you into a prize draw. Massive shout out to Steve. Drove all the way down from Newcastle to York to drop off a Newcastle top for me for nothing. Get it signed on Friday night by Warren Barton, and it's the next prize for next month on the channel. So massive shout out to Steve for doing that. And a top bloke.
You mean Martin?
Yeah, Martin. Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe it. I don't know why I had Martin in my head. I don't know. It's what happens when you've done 60 hours in 5 days. Been finishing night shifts. My brain doesn't work properly. It really doesn't. Caitlin on her way, Bazza, brilliant. Evening, gents and boilers. There's no boiler. Well, there's 3 boilers on the screen now. And the rose is about to arrive. Evening, gents from Gareth. Evening, Baz and the 2 lovely ladies. Jesus, Barry got some ugly girls this time. Cannot wait for Caitlin to bring some looks to this show.
I'll tell you what, change your mind about saying yes now.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, man. Right. Before we get into the actual show itself and the result in the match, I love this quote about Miggy. I've never seen someone who was faster with the ball than without it, except Miggy. I can see why they call him the eel. He's very weary, but that helps him slip between people whom he has no right to. He is electric. And that was a quote from Kenwyn Jones on Miguel Almiron. We are starting to see the best of Miggy, aren't we, Gary?
Yeah.
Finally.
I mean, this season especially. It took a couple of years because, what can I lie, 1.5 years ago, I think he worked his socks off and everything, but he was just missing that finished article. What can you say about him? He's been brilliant this season. And being on Twitter, he's been pictures next to Messi and jokes on about the Ballon d'Or and stuff like that. So, he's been one of our star performers this season.
It's nice to see him coming out. I mean, he's probably afraid to come out beforehand. The amount of stick that he got played, and it was uncalled for at times. I know he was frustrating, but we all knew, or some of us knew, there was definitely a player in there, and it was just getting it out of him.
There's a player in there with Miggy, but I still don't see that we're seeing the best of him. He's had a purple patch where everybody knew he was capable of doing it, and now he's dropped off again. So now do we look and go, okay, that's the purple patch over. Will he contribute more going forward? Yeah, he might do, but his assists are still really poor. I know this is harsh saying about Miggy because he has been outstanding forward, but he's still not the right guy in that position. Work rate, can't fault them. End product, I'll always go back to it. As a winger, you need the end product and the assists.
We're going to come on to that because wouldn't he have had assist last night if it hadn't have been for a donkey from 6 yards? Do you know what I mean? You say that he doesn't get the assist, but unless people are putting the ball in when he crosses it, and he has put some good crosses, and he started using his right foot, and he would have had an assist last night if it were not for a donkey finish from 6 yards in an open net. So I don't think it was a purple patch. I still think he's providing. It's just we're not putting them away. Yes, they could be better. I'm not going to lie, but it's his work rate that does it as well for me. It's that high press, isn't it?
I know it sounds bizarre this season, but do you think he's got a bit of a confidence issue?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he got knocked down that much under Bruce that it took a while for Eddie to stamp all that out of him.
Even now, though. Because at times I feel like he can go for it a bit more and he just doesn't. Something holding him back.
Yeah, I thought he started last night again. I thought he was brilliant. He carried the ball well. He was trying to get round to the bar line a lot. He was using his right foot. I think confidence he could be a confidence player for all we know. But he was still not shy. He was still trying to shoot. He was still trying to create things. He's never going to do that purple patch again. Don't get me wrong. He's not going to score 9 goals in 9 games. It's just not going to happen. But I still think he's going to end up with 15 goals and 5 assists, which is 20 goal contributions in the season, which will be absolutely amazing, considering what we used to have. But maybe he should play as a number 10. I don't know. But then you've got to change the formation, haven't you? It's interesting. Hello, darling.
Hey, hiya, lasses.
Cheeky. I'll let you have that one. I am. You?
No, I am.
Now you are. Yeah, you're home. Right, Barry, answer me this. What is the point of a front three to score goals? Right, which right now we are having problems with 4-3-3 inside forward tactic, but we use wingers so we don't get the goals. Why? Because they're just not putting the ball in the net. They're getting the chances.
It's just local.
It's a simple answer, isn't it? But it will happen. It will come. ASM's got to start. We'll come to it later, though. Won't we?
Yeah, we'll come to it later.
Exactly. Even and all, maybe the weekend off will give Howe a chance to recap, to think what's going on, what's working, what's not. A lot's working. It's just not getting the ball in the net. Why we miss goal opportunities. Rashford. Is it 1-1?
1-1.
Oh yeah, he's breaking from the halfway line. You're ahead of me, Gary, for a change.
Am I?
That was a good
that
pass.
Makes a change.
Oh, what a finish in the bottom corner. It is 1-1. That's a beautiful counter-attacking goal, that.
Do you know what it is? I was a bit critical of Gibbs White, but he's not a bad player, He looks a canny player.
Yeah. That was a good finish, that as well. Good counter-attack, because Man United looked like I thought that we were going to score, and then counter-attacked all the way through. What was it? 1-2 passes, and that was it. They were in.
Oh, Forzoot. Give away.
Oh, Jesus, he could be offside, His knee could be offside.
Do you know what it is? It's Man United, this, and you can guarantee flaming tea.
Oh, they're going to give it offside just because he's a tiny little bit in front of the defender.
Of course.
That's just...
I'm just waiting on Gary going nuts again at this point. Because that watch along last night was unbelievable.
Offside.
Especially when Armstrong handballed it into the net.
I couldn't do it. I thought you little shit out. Honestly, you knew he handballed it, no?
Yeah, exactly.
And I just couldn't take it, honestly.
I probably missed part of your question, mate. I am very tired. But it's been given offside. My stream as well behind yours. He's watching it on Sky, that's why. Hit the friggin' like button. Offside, it is offside. Right, so the reason why we're here, as we already sort of alluded to it, 1-0, first leg. We all said we would have took a draw. We all said it was going to be a tight game. We were right. Finished 1-0. This was the team. Were you surprised it was unchanged, Gary?
I was, yeah, because I was convinced Isaac was going to start.
Yeah, me too.
I was pushing for Maxi as well, but I didn't think it was going to be both of them. But after watching Wilson the last 3 games, I was convinced he was coming in, and I was surprised. The rest, no, I wasn't. They picked themselves. But it was just Wilson and Isaac for me.
Caitlin, what about you?
I wasn't. I was hoping for a different team, but then I got what I expected, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I honestly thought Isaac as well, the same as Gary, to be fair.
But then I was absolutely buzzing once he finally brought them on.
It was a good game. I enjoyed it. I actually got to watch most of it as well. Blade, what about you?
I wasn't surprised at all, to be honest. I think Wilson's been out with illness. Isak and Maxi have both been out with injury. I think Eddie's trying to balance the 3 where he gets them all up to fitness levels without trying to overuse any of the front 3. I mean, if you look at what midfield last night, Willock was hanging by his chin strap. He was absolutely knackered. I think we saw it in the game beforehand against Fulham. He's shattered. Trips look shattered. There's a few of them look like they're absolutely hanging and they probably need rotated. But at the minute, because of illness and injury, we can't do it, which means we really bring strength and depth in.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought Dan Burn did as well, Blade.
Well, I mean, he's been
his
socks off, hasn't he?
I thought he looked jaded.
Oh, what an effort!
I know.
Did you see that? Poof!
I tell you what, I stand by this. They're not good. They're not great at the back, Man United.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Punch out from the keeper, and it's come right to about 22 yards out, Gary, 20 yards out on the volley. And it
was a comfortable save by the keeper, but it's all Forest at the minute.
It is, yeah. Come on, Forest. Right. So I missed the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, unfortunately. Was there anything that needs to be highlighted in the first 10, 15 minutes? I heard we had a couple of good chances.
There was like 3. Like right in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was a couple of we made a bright start. Remember Miggy running through and him passing it, but I cannot. To the top of my head, I cannot remember.
Nothing that really like sticks in your mind.
No,
right.
But I remember we're making a good start in the first 5 minutes.
There was a couple of challenges.
Sorry, go on.
There was a couple of challenges that were like quite tasty in the first 15, but that was certainly nothing like sort of goals-wise worth mentioning.
Well, let's put the ball over the net in the first 15. So Willock and Longstaff both missed chances in the first 15.
It was Willock. There was a ball. I think it was a ball played across, and Willock skied it, and me and Liam went off it. Because it was shit, to be honest.
I think I remember that one now. I think I might have just got it.
But I kind of remember. It's funny when you're doing a watch along because. I mean, probably go on about it later on, but there's some players I didn't think had their best games, and it's coming up saying, player of the match, and I'm thinking...
I was a bit confused by the ratings, but Dan, unfortunately, there's not a lot of new news when it comes to transfers, so maybe they're just covering what's been happening recently in the news. Obviously, we've heard Maddison we're going to test the water again with Leicester, so let's see what happens, but... different show. Did Jonathan Blaze over when yes, he did. Looked a bit like Wood's miss again against Wednesday. Willock is the new Wood. Willock's better than that. And Willock was massively involved with the big controversial incident in the first half, wasn't he? Because he broke down the left-hand side, cut inside his defender, shot across the keeper. Keeper parries it. Miggy has a shot, hits the defender, bounces out, hits Joelinton in the midriff, Referee blows up for a handball, and then
No, it wasn't.
And then we get this story on Sky. Joe Linton gives Newcastle Edges 10-men Saints denied by VAR again. How can they come up with a headline like that after Joe Linton's goal was wrongly ruled out? And we've all seen the replays, haven't we? We all agree it wasn't handball.
Well, for starters, 10-man Saints, he got sent off in the last 3 minutes.
I know, exactly. Sky agenda again, isn't it?
Oh.
It's not about that.
You what, pal?
Like that, the quote's not about that game. It's about Southampton got done the weekend v Villa with 2 VAR decisions. So I think that's what Sky were alluding to.
Yeah, but
so
VAR again.
Saints after Villa again, because I don't think there was anything wrong with Saints' first goal against Villa. I don't think there was much wrong with our second goal either. So I think it's just Sky grabbing a headline like a VAR of shit on Saints.
Yeah, but we all know it was ruled out for the right reasons. That's the thing. When ours was ruled out for the wrong reason. And that's why the headline looks really poor, because we were robbed in that first half. Easily. Always a chance here for Forest. Oh, he's placed it over. It hit him right in the midriff there. And when you actually look at the camera angle from the post, which is the same one where Bruno was in line up, Bruno was asking for VAR to look at it straight away because he knew he didn't handball it.
As I said,
now,
other
angle,
hit his tits.
Well, it hit him, like there. And his arm was down, but his arm was behind him. So the ball actually hit there. So it didn't come close to his arm.
Really wasn't.
Other angles made it look like it hit his arm. But there was one clear angle that showed it didn't touch his arm. So, Gary, it shouldn't have been ruled out in my eyes. Do you agree?
Well, I get why the referee got it wrong, right? But
yeah.
This is VAR. This is VAR's...
But they didn't show the angle enough, the one that was clear enough to see it didn't hit his arm.
The one angle, because I went off it again last night. I was on one last night.
So I've heard by the comments, there's some great comments in here. Carry on.
It definitely hit the side of his chest.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely wasn't a handball. I don't even think it touched his hand at all.
No.
And if you went to the proper angle on VAR, then it's given us a goal. But they kept showing the dodgy angle where it looked like he was handballing it. Good save.
Sorry, Dan. I wasn't too sure what you meant. I thought you meant they'd finished because I knew they started at 7:30. Oh, what a save. Man United should have been 2-0 up there, shouldn't they?
Yeah, it was a good save.
Very good save. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are repeating the same old news. We try to bring you new stuff, but we only bring you stuff when we get it. So what a miss. BBC said that Joe Linton was wrongly disallowed. There we go. But that's the one thing that does my head in about the title. They should also say that Joe Linton's got obviously disallowed for wrongly as well. And that's why the title got my back up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Well, I say a little bit, I mean a lot. Has Eddie had his say on the disallowed goal? Don't remember him addressing it in post-match. Eddie won't, because he doesn't want to get suspended, does he?
He mentioned it after the game, and he said he thought he couldn't, he didn't know at the time. He says, I thought it was a goal, then it was disallowed. I thought handball, and that was that. And he said similar for the goal that they scored. So after that, I don't know. But he was brief.
Mark says, I'll happily pay for a watch along. It was entertaining last night.
I tell you, I couldn't help myself.
Someone mentioned, did that show get monetized? All the shows get monetized regardless, to be honest with you. But some of the monetization gets downgraded depending if they actually watch it and hear all the language that we come up with sometimes. If we get Gordon, we'll have a team full of shithouses. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? And I'm going to address it now before we get into the second half. Everyone's saying that Gordon's a little shit and his attitude stinks and da-da-da-da-da. But when I watched us last night, I saw Bruno being a little shit. I saw Murphy being a shit as well when the guy got sent off. All the sort of stuff that if that was against us, we would literally be screaming. But because it was for us, we're not. Now, that's just what Gordon was for Everton. And a lot of people get the backs up because it was against us. But they forget what kind of a player he is. So are we right to really be slating Gordon, Gary, after what we saw last night? Because our players were just as bad.
No, our players just stick up for each other, and that one, that's it. You know what it is? Eddie Howe confirms that. He says, we don't want to be late. We just want to compete,
exactly.
basically.
Exactly. I get that.
I think you'll fit in with that group. I mean, you seen what he was like up here with Trippier that time.
Yeah.
And
that's what I mean, though. Like, I mean, we all stuck up for each other against Gordon. No Everton player came over and helped Gordon. But then when you watched us last night, we were all together, but we were still little shits at the same time, though, weren't we?
What makes me laugh is Bruno's looks like a lovely guy. He's meant to be a great person. But on the football pitch, he's a little sod.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
He is. And it's like, soon some of them players run into that football pitch, they don't care. And he'll probably fit into that group. No problem at all.
He's like Jamie Tart. I love it. What a comparison. What a comparison. That's what Murphy reminds me of, actually, to be fair. So personally, I think we should have been 1-0 up at half-time. We obviously go into the break. Southampton really didn't have any chances, did they? They came out more in the second half and had a few. The goal obviously comes after some substitutions. Isak comes on. ASM comes on. When Isak got the ball on the wing, I was not expecting that blistering pace, Caitlin. How fast is that lad?
I couldn't believe it. I was actually not expecting him to be that fast.
Mental. Blade, when he turned the defender, when he turned the defender, we knew what was coming, didn't we? He just absolutely legged it into the box. Perfect cross. Joelinton finally taps one in.
And it got me so
I
close.
can't believe we didn't know we lost.
Unfortunately.
Sorry, Caitlin, go on.
We saw it. Go on, Blade. Yeah, the reason why I didn't know he was that quick is I've seen a little bit of him, but I have never seen him that quick. The way he burned the defender.
That, like, even at international level, like, Isak is stupidly rapid. He's extremely fast. And I liked his interview after the game where he was asked, what were you thinking when you got the ball? And he says, I wasn't thinking. I knew the defender wasn't that close to us. So I just took it and went.
Yeah. But then he had the cool composure to look up in the box and pick out the correct cross, though, didn't he? That was the difference from what we've seen for maybe with Miggy, is that composure.
His cross actually takes a nick off the defender sliding across.
Did it?
Which
I didn't think it did.
It's slightly behind. Otherwise, it was going back post to the free guy we had running in, who I think was Murphy at the time.
Might have been. It's a good job of cooking Nick then, isn't it? No offense to Murphy, but let's face it. Rewind it a little bit, Gary, and Joelinton had a similar chance, and it was great work by Miggy down the right-hand side. Crosses it with his right foot. Perfect cross on a plate. You're just thinking, burst the net. And he put it over. It was worse than Ronnie Rosenthal.
I remember at the time I went, I love you, man, but that was shit.
Yeah.
Do you know if that had been Chris Wood, I didn't think what I would have said on that show.
Well, this is the thing. He's getting away with it because of who Joelinton is, and it's that.
He's getting away with it because he's Joelinton, but I don't care whether you're a League One, a League Two. I know this happens, but whether you're a League One player, you cannot miss them. You can't. But it happened, and he redeemed himself, didn't he? But it was a shocking miss.
I had my head in my hands. I was screaming. I was nearly crying in the canteen. I was just like, how the hell has he missed that?
I have to admit, when he missed that, I thought this is not going to be our night. This,
Yes,
because with the disallowed goal, and when he did that, and I thought, oh yeah, get me back, get me back to St James's with a draw now. Like, but it was just one of those, wasn't it?
It was, and it was great, Caitlin, to see the players all celebrating together. I think it was ASM who was at the back post, because I remember him putting his hand up and celebrating, and he actually ran over as well. And Isaac jumped into the crowd, got carried away. It was beautiful.
It's always lovely to see them after. I want one of these shirts. Where the hell is mine?
You've got to get to a game first, Caitlin. You've got to be there with a big
really
Brazilian flag, then you might get one.
That is like my dream. I want to go to an away one.
I love it. Blade, you're shaking your head. It was definitely ASM. I remember it now, because when Joe Linton put it in, ASM put his hand up in the air and started running towards them. I don't even think Murphy was on the pitch at that point.
I'm not convinced of ASM coming in at the back. I think he came in more centrally, but at the back post, there was a guy coming in on the angle where, because I watched it on the match cam they showed, and it wasn't him going central, it was a guy further back from the left wing coming in at the angle, and I'm sure it was Murphy.
Might have been, I don't know. Gary, we've got to have a massive congratulations to Nick Pope again, another clean sheet, and he had to work for this one. He had to be pulled off at least 2 or 3 saves, I remember.
Well, I mean, this is nothing against Nick Pope, because he's been one of the best goalkeepers this season, probably the best in the league. Although we're going on about stunning saves, but I've seen Nick Pope make better saves than that he had to do this season. That was my personal opinion, but his best one was the one where I think it was Che Adams was played through.
With his foot, yeah.
Yeah, with his foot. That was the best one. I thought the other 2 we made were comfortable, and I expected Pope to save them. But you know what he does well? He commands the area.
Yeah.
When there's a ball over the top, he's out, he's clearing it. The defence never have to worry about Nick Pope, because, I mean, they go on about his distribution and that, but I don't think he's that bad at it. Honestly,
his distribution is good.
His distribution's poor, but not from what I've seen of him.
I think it was more the distribution with his feet, but if you watch him with his throw outs and stuff like that, he does try and get the ball going quickly, but he's a bit of Bambi on ice when the ball's at his foot potentially. Yeah. You know, that's the... But we've got a great quote about that later on.
I think, I don't know, I mean, they've been talking about him on the radio all day and on Sky, and basically saying that, is he the best goalkeeper in the Premiership? That's what people are starting to say now. This season, for me, he has, by an absolute night.
Stats-wise and clean sheets-wise, you can't argue about it at all. Where do you stand on the debate, Caitlin? Are you Pope is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, or has he still got to prove some doubters wrong?
No, from what I've seen, I would definitely say that. He has saved more than Dubravka, for one. So, yes, for me, he is.
Yeah. What about you, Blade?
For me, definitely, but I'm not Gareth Southgate. Like, no, what? That is England's number 1.
Well, we know what he's like. I mean, the argument is for Gareth Southgate is that Pickford's got better distribution with his feet, and we can't argue against that at all. His distribution is fantastic. And when Pickford plays for England, he seems to be a different animal. Mind you, Pope would have saved that shot from France. He's got longer fucking arms for a start. So that, I don't know, it's a difficult one. But if you go off Premier League form, there's no way Pickford gets anywhere near the England team. But when he's playing in an England shirt, he's a different keeper though. So
the only one I would say who's anywhere close to Pope right now this season is Ramsdale, right?
Yeah,
the rest of them
brilliant.
The rest of them, no. Alisson and Edison have been off a few times this season. Yeah. So for me, miles ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's pretty much what I said. Shea's a legend. Pope's got to do it for a few years before he can overtake Shea Given. Yeah. But he's he's got off to an absolute fantastic start. Let's face it. Yeah, definitely. Again, more chances went to begging. Also, some very naughty tactics by Southampton. Chopping us down whenever we got near the goal.
They were playing dirty.
They were, weren't they? I was surprised to see so many yellow cards in the game. And when ASM made that run on the left-hand side and he ended up bursting into the middle and got chopped down, I was purring. I was thinking ASM is back. That's the ASM we want to see played.
I think I mentioned it in your afternoon show. I said that's 20 minutes, and you said, yeah, but he's done it for 20 minutes against Fulham. Okay, so over 2 games. Well, yeah, okay. So that's a half. He's played well in 2 matches. I love Maxi, and Mauro gets on my case all the time because he thinks I hate him and I want him out of the club and stuff. It's not true. I want to see a consistent Maxi. I want to see the Maxi that terrorised Man City, that terrorised Everton on a regular basis. Not the Maxi that turns up and then occasionally does something really well, but then in a full game spends more time falling down and whinging at the linesman and ref.
Well, I think we're starting to see that in personally, I think we are. After watching the Fulham game, there was a moment when he was on the floor and the crowd got on his back and then he didn't do it again. I thought the 20 minutes last night was the best of Maxi. And then again, like you mentioned, it's trying to get consistency from him. And maybe they've had words in the background, but him and Eddie seem to be all right after the game. I think we could see a Maxi be quite special coming into the summer, Gary. And then we might keep him.
I hope so.
Well, that's when he came. I mean, how long was he on for? 20 minutes?
20 minutes, yeah.
Him and Isaac changed the game because Southampton come with a bit. And when them two came on, it just added a lot more forward. And they took 2 players off who, for me, just weren't at their best. Again, the pair of them. But Maxi just used to, at times he was just back to the old Maxi, just causing chaos for the defence, frightening them. Every time we got the ball, they were backing off. And if he keeps playing like that, I've said it on numerous shows, if he keeps playing like that, week in, week out, keep him.
Yeah.
When I've ever said, I've done with Maxi, sell him, it's because he's having 1 good game in 8. Then he's injured again. But if this Maxi keeps going, he gets in the side, just say he starts next week, has another cracking game, then keep it going, and then keep him beyond next season.
Yeah. Caitlin, would you agree, or would you? I've always said I would like to see Maxi used as an impact sub. I know Maxi won't like that, but seeing him for 20, 30 minutes in bursts might be the best thing we can get for Maxi potentially.
And it might work better for us in the long run. I know that's only just happened, as yesterday as an example, but if it can happen more and more, then get him on, do that.
It's just getting Maxi to buy into that. It's the problem, isn't it? Because he wants to play 90 minutes. So
he loves to be on the pitch. And you can blame him.
He literally could be the next Onigo Solskjaer, really, in a way, who just comes on and blists teams in 20, 25 minutes.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we sort of know we're going to be playing Man United, but we could have we were dreaming. Forest are playing really well.
I'm telling you now, I've been watching this game. Forget about the 2-0 scoring. It's flattering these. That second goal, if you get the chance, watch that second goal. Newcastle don't let that second goal in.
No, definitely
it was
not.
Shit
Paul doesn't parry it out into the middle of the goal, does he?
No, the first bloke doesn't get the shot off because we charge him down.
Yeah.
And what defenders aren't beat by the striker who puts it in the back of the net. That goal does not happen if it's against us.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Man United they might be winning 2 now, but trust us that shaky at the back. They didn't like pace running at them. Now to worry about for me. Forest have played well, but they're just crap at the back.
Yeah. And then they're offside when they score. Dickheads. There was another chance that springs to mind was when Isak ran through, put through by Bruno down the right-hand side. He rounded the keeper and he put the ball in the side net. And that actually brings me to another one as well after this one. Should he have squared it, Gary? Because Sean Longstaff was free, wasn't he? But I don't know if the ball, he got pushed quite far wide, didn't he?
Well, Blade will probably confirm this, but I'm sure the keeper got a touch on it.
Yeah, I think he did. He got a tiny touch on it.
And I think that just, if the keeper hadn't touched it, I think I said to Liam on the show last night, I reckon he puts it in. But he probably should have, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because of the goalkeeper getting his hand on the ball. To be honest, I've just thought of a miss there. I'm going to see if you mention it, but there's a miss that came. It's just come into my head as well.
Yeah, Murphy.
No, it was another one as well.
Well, I'll talk about the Murphy one first because it's in my head. And it was the same sort of similar thing as Isak's. He got played in down the right-hand side and he was too greedy. He hit the side netting when if he had smashed it across goal, Isak was free on the back post. And I'm thinking again, that's the decision-making when it comes to Murphy, that he doesn't have the coolness. He thought, I can probably score at the near post here, which 9 times out of 10 the keeper saves. Had he smashed it across the goal, potentially an own goal, or Isak taps it in on the back post. Very frustrating. Which one was yours?
Mine was the Sven Botman one.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that was on his wrong foot.
I was on his wrong foot, but if you look at it, it's the target and it's in. It was just, I remember going, oh, what's he doing like that? And
yeah.
It was...
That was another frustrating. That was before we scored as well, wasn't it?
Great miss for me. But
had it fallen on his left foot, it might have been different.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the Murphy one. It's not coming into my head at all.
Murphy one was down the right-hand side and he smashed it at the front post and it hit the side net and then he should have crossed it for my eyes.
Yeah, it was on the right-hand side of the net.
Yeah. Apparently, Gordon's handed in a transfer request, which is very interesting. So let's see what happens because they're obviously the fee, they're wanting 60 million. We're not paying that. And we will walk away. I don't agree with what he's doing, though, which is not turning up for training and et cetera, et cetera. You're getting paid by the club. You should be turning up for training. We had it with Cabaye. I didn't like it. No one liked it. I don't like to see that from players. Shouldn't be any player power. What? Well, I guess there's one consolation if you guys get to the final playing Man United, and it's pretty guaranteed European football, Europa Conference at least. Yeah, that is right. Because they're probably going to finish in the top 4, top 6. I think we're finishing in the top 6 anyway, to be honest with you. Isak is the man. He is magic. He is. All the Man United fans won't have to travel far as they get to the area, right? They will still be outnumbered. Damn right they will be. So obviously things boiled over. There was a lot of yellow cards branded and there was 2 yellow cards given out to the Southampton player and it sparked one of the funniest memes we're probably going to have for a while. Murphy just giving them a little send-off. And Bruno also did it as well. It's like, see ya.
Ta-ta, off you go.
People have got to come up with some great captions for these because I'm sorry, but Murphy looks the bent as a 2 Bob Note in that picture, doesn't he? He's got his teapot on the go there. And Bruno looks a little bit suspect as well with the way he's got his hand going. And it's just funny scenes. But again, Blade, this goes back to the whole sticking up for each other, and everyone was in there, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the actual foul, like on Maxi, the first one to go across and shove the Southampton guy is Murphy, and then he quickly runs away and gets out the way. The next one you see come in is like Bruno comes in. Sorry, no, it's Bruno first. Then Murphy comes in, nowhere, shoves the guy. And then Joe Linton comes across, obviously because Murphy's gone like, shite with this, I'm going to have a pop at this. And then they're waving him off. I just thought that was hilarious. It's like in games, like the players have got to be on so much pressure. And I can't have a bit of a laugh on the pitch. Is it shithousery? Yeah, it is. But nothing wrong with it. Fair play to the
There's
lad.
nothing wrong with it, but it's the whole Gordon's a bit of a tit. You know, we could have won. I found it hilarious. I really did, Gary. What did you make of the whole situation?
I said last night in the show, don't sell Jacob Murphy, please. When I saw him do that, I thought, nah. But this is what Eddie's put in that dressing room. He's put banter and togetherness in the group. And you've got Dan Byrne dancing in the middle of the changing room. There's clearly, I mean, you can imagine some of the parties in there. They've clearly got a good group in there. They're clearly well together. And it's all being created by Eddie. And they stick up for each other. And it'll happen to us, and we've got to give it back. So
yeah, definitely. Yes, it did happen. I can't remember what game it was, but he's definitely done it before. He's got priors when it comes to this. His facial expressions are brilliant. He did it to Marco Silva as well, didn't he, after the Fulham game?
Yeah.
He did a weird one. Caitlin, what's your take on it? Caitlin?
I think that's the front door.
All right. Something's buzzing. Nick, don't even dare. I like to see Newcastle look a little nasty. We all do. I mean, you've got to win dirty sometimes. But there we go. Great scenes at the final whistle when all the coaching staff, players, subs, everyone went over to the fans, started giving their shirts in and stuff like that, and showing their appreciation. Because let's face it, Gary, going to Southampton's a bloody long way.
Well, I've just been having a rant on the group tonight about Southampton sending tickets back.
Really?
Yeah. You know what it is? Yeah, I know it's a long trip. I get that. I get people have got to do work, this, that, and the other. But we took thousands, and I know Southampton fans on us, I know. But we took, this is a semi-final, we took thousands down there. Forest could lose the game tonight 3-0, and I bet you they take a full allocation at Man United next week. And I don't know, maybe I'm being petty or unfair on them, but sending tickets back for a semi-final.
I mean, that would never happen with our fan base at all. No. Maybe Southampton just feel like they're not going to win it.
Well, yeah, but
even then, you want to go, don't you? You want to bring the noise. You want to be there just in case you have the turnaround and say that you were there.
I've been to I went to Barcelona. I didn't think they were going to beat Barcelona. I travelled all that way to watch them, and they got beat. I knew they would get beat, but I went. You know, it's just...
You went for the sun, Gary. That's what you went for.
Went for the booze.
And the drink, yeah.
But it's just something you do. You follow your club through thick and thin, don't you? And it doesn't...
It's true.
I mean, there's thousands of Newcastle fans who've been going for 14 years through Mike Ashley's crap.
Yeah.
And they kept going and going and going. And the ones who stopped going were doing it just to try and get him out.
Yeah, takes a while, yeah. I was one of them.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh on them, but the semi-final, man.
I know. And it's not often Southampton are going to get to semi-finals, let's face it. No. So you might as well enjoy the occasion while you can. No. Right, guys, get your man of the matches in the chat. We're going to run through some player stats. And I mean, the stats were terrible, to be honest with you. But for me, Nick Pope was probably up there with my man of the match. 2 run-outs successful, 3 saves, 2 saves from inside the box that were crucial. In the way that he saved them, it wasn't just that they were comfortable. They were still difficult saves, but it's the way he pushes them wide and he doesn't put them back into the box like the Forest keeper did and, you know, keep you in danger. Claimed 1 high claim. I'm sure he did more than that because I remember him punching a couple as well. Maybe punching doesn't class as high claims. He only had 37 touches. Key passes, he made 1. Clearances 1 and aerial duels 1. That was when he came flying out and nearly knocked out the Southampton player, which was quite funny. The next player in the mix, when it comes up, there we go, Joe Linton. He was everywhere again. I know he missed that huge chance, but the one thing I liked about his performance is that even though he missed it, he wasn't afraid to get back in there and do it again. Some players would have shied away. So 90 minutes, 1 goal, shots on target 1, shots off target 1. We all know which one was off target. He missed 1 big chance. We all know which one that one is. He made 1 key pass. 3 out of 8 ground duels won, which is a bit low for him, but his aerial duels, 5 out of 6. He made 3 clearances, 1 interception, 3 tackles, and he was dribbled past twice. And the other one was Sven Botman again. He's just an animal, this man. He really is. 4 clearances, 1 block shot, 84% passing accuracy. And don't forget, he doesn't just pass it around the back line. He does try and spray the ball out whenever he can. Where 6 out of 9 of his long balls were successful. 1 out of 2 ground duels won. 3 out of 3 aerial duels. Only lost the ball 9 times. And shots off target 1, which is the one that Gary mentioned when he was inside the box and it was on his wrong foot. I'll start with you, Caitlin. Who was your man of the match? Any of those 3, or was it someone different? Joelinton. How am I? What was Joelinton? Why Joelinton? Why Joelinton, Caitlin?
Just his constant pressing forward. He's constantly going for it. He was. And like I say, even though he missed, and even though I got that it was said out handball, which it was not, I still kept going, which is what we want.
Oh man, that sense of humour of some people. Pope's mum all day long was man of the match. Joelinton was my man of the match. Man of the match, Nick Pope. Kevin Pride, tell me you are joking. I will be at Finch Farm tomorrow to give my taxi fare back to Newcastle. Pope all day. Gary, who was your man of the match?
I'm laughing because the man of the match who they said on the telly, you haven't put in the list.
No, it was Bruno that put on the thing, but I don't think Bruno had his best game.
Neither did I.
And
when I came off and he got player of the game, I thought, am I watching this? I thought I need to stop doing these watch-alongs because I must be taking crap. And I'm with Caitlin. I'd go Joelinton purely based on the fact that every big decision in that game Joelinton was involved in. Whether it was the disallowed goal, whether it was the goal, whether it was his miss. Every time a ball went in the box, Joelinton was there. He was just his normal beast in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I'm just run out of. I mean, I think I've picked Joelinton now probably 3 times in the last 5 games for man of the match. Because if we take him out that side, I mean, I know Bruno's the key man, but if we take him out that side right now, I think there's a massive hole in that team with him not being in it this moment. And I just thought, once again, superb.
I think there's a big hole, but I still think with Longstaff, Willock, Bruno, I still think we slightly get away with it. You are right, he does leave a hole, but I don't think it's as big a hole if Bruno's not playing because of that passing side of things. And that. I think we've got enough players to do the challenging and the dirty work. But we haven't got that player who can thread a ball through. You know, I think that's where I get really worried. But you are right. I mean, Joelinton's been excellent. We run out of superlatives to talk about him, don't we? Blade, who was your man of the match?
I'm going with Longstaff.
Ooh. Why?
There's a couple of reasons. One, it'll piss Twitter off.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And the second one is every player you guys have mentioned can only play their game and the way they play it because Longstaff does the dirty stuff well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Did he do it really well last night, though? He seemed to have a decent game. I thought he had a good game.
That's the thing with Longstaff. Like, ideally, with a player like Longstaff, you don't actually want to hear his name mentioned. That tells me he's had a really good game. If he's mentioned, it's because he's skied one out with a ball, which he did get mentioned a couple of times for. I'll give you that. But he's going to do that. Didier Deschamps, the famous water carrier, did nothing, but he allowed that France team to play. And Longstaff allows us to play.
Yeah, I thought VAR again married your game last night. Yeah, VAR was shocking.
Would you in the David Batty mold? Like that type?
No.
Never gets mentioned. He's all like in the background, but he was key to that team, wasn't
he? Yeah.
He was. I mean, I loved Batty. Like everything from like throttling Man U players to just kicking people, not giving a shite, turning up for training and then leaving instantly afterwards, still in his tracksuit because he hated football. He just turned up, did his job, got paid, went home.
Yeah.
So no, I wouldn't put Longstaff in Batty's bracket because Batty was unbelievable. But yeah, Longstaff, I think, can go on to earn cult status like that. More like a Clarkey.
Yeah. I think the difference at the minute, I mean, just at the minute, because Longstaff used to be like this under Rafa. Clark was a better finisher. I think that's the only thing I would say right now.
I'd agree with that. Clark could score a goal, to be fair.
Yeah. Now, Longstaff could score goals under Rafa, and I've said this before. It's there in his game.
Yeah.
But we just need to see it again.
Confidence. Right. Caitlin, have you got one of your naughty toys out? There's a lot of buzzing going on. Who's buzzing?
It's your phone.
It's your phone. Is that Nick doing it on? I bet it's Nick.
No, my sister's in the bedroom and Nick's nowhere to be found. I think he's went upstairs to the upstairs flat.
Brilliant.
So she's texting us because she doesn't want to come in and ruin it.
Right. I like it. Tell us to stop texting you then. Tell her we're nearly finished. Right, we've got to talk about Popey again. The Southampton manager says there isn't a better goalkeeper in the Premier League, not the best fashionable one, but he's the best. Nathan Jones rates Nick Pope as an old school number one. And then again, the most clean sheets in all competitions, 16. And that's like literally across the whole of the European football. He's got the most clean sheets. And it's not all down to Pope. Let's not forget the back four have also been superb. The midfield protecting Popey. But when Pope is needed, he's been absolutely unreal. Caitlin, what do you make of Nick Pope's performances and also the praise that he was given by the Southampton manager?
Sorry, say that again. He's just probably said
He's probably wondering what you're getting up to. What do you make of the Southampton manager's quotes about Nick Pope being the best goalkeeper in the Premier League, but not the fashionable goalkeeper like an Edison, but just he's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League?
For me, yes, he's probably one of the best. Because obviously you've got, what was it? Edison,
yeah.
And then two others as well. That was on the list that they posted out.
Oh, well, Ramsdale is the other one.
Yeah, that's it.
Alisson.
Yeah, Alisson is the other one as well. But I mean,
they had a list of the top six basically, and Pope wasn't in it.
Very few that he's actually missed.
What do you make of it, Gary?
It was very complimentary from him, I'll tell you.
Wasn't it?
Just I don't know. I don't mind him, the Southampton manager. He's but I tell you what, is there better goalkeeper than Nick Pope in the league at the minute? A year and a half, 2 years ago, possibly Alisson and Edison with it. But I've seen mistakes from them this season, and I've seen a few of them from both of them. Lloris is well off his game. Ramsdale's the only one who's close to him at the minute, and it's starting to get noticed now with Nick Pope though, that he is a goalkeeper, and if he keeps this up, it's not going to be long before the press are going on about him being England's number one. And
I feel quite sorry for him because his performances at Burnley were just as good at times, but they didn't get noticed.
No, because he was playing for Burnley. Now he's playing for a club that's near the top of the league, and a club that all fans in this country will tell you, you're not a big club, but they kind of stopped at it.
Yeah, exactly.
They literally can't stop it. And the minute this so-called small Newcastle gets mentioned all the time, and now Nick Pope's starting to get noticed. So one of the best for me, definitely this season, if not the best.
Yeah, I agree. Blade, what about you on the quote? Do you agree with it? It's not because he's not a fashionable goalkeeper. He's not one that dances around and likes the ball to run across his goal line and all this sort of stuff and the cool composure side of things. But he's doing what a goalkeeper should do, and that's stopping the ball from going in the goal. It's simple as that.
To be honest, he does more than that, because I get the quote from Nathan Jones, even though like all I can think of is the Bananarama song in my head whenever I see that guy's name. But what Pope does that I think a lot of pundits don't notice is he actually catches the ball.
Yeah, I love that, because everyone else punches it, don't they?
Many keepers. Yeah, there's virtually no keepers in the Premier League that just come out and catch the ball anymore. Like, what's wrong with them? Why are they punching it when there's no danger? Just catch it. Mick Pope does the simple stuff a keeper should do extremely well. To me, yeah, he's the best in the Premier League at the minute. All that stuff about the need to be able to play for their feet, why? Nick Pope can throw the ball 60 yards to feet. Yeah. Why does he need to be able to kick it that far?
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. I guess you get more power with your foot, don't you? It gets out a bit quicker. But you can be more accurate when you're throwing it out. I mean, I used to play cricket, and I know that my throwing was a lot more direct than what my foot was, so especially over a big distance. So, yeah, I agree. Right, let's try and talk a little bit Maxi just for the last 10. Oh, Man United hit the bar.
That was 20 minutes again, man. But
what, 53 minutes? What minute are you on?
53:25.
That only 10 seconds behind you, man. Cheeky git. Another shot saved. So let's talk about Maxi a little bit. I've tried to illustrate. There's so many different types of Maxis, isn't there? There's the one down injured. There's one with his hands on his heads. There's the Maxi celebrating. There's the one, the Instagram and all this sort of stuff, and his hair loss. But this quote was, I don't know. This quote can go either way, can't it? I like to play with all the players, but I spend a lot of time with Isak. He's an incredible player. I want to be able to play with him and show what we are capable of doing on the pitch. I mean, it's a little bit naughty, that quote, because it's like, Wilson, fuck off, me and Isak are going to do it. Do you know what I mean? Does anybody else agree with that or not? Or is it just me overlooking at things?
No, I think he's just basically saying he wants to play with Isak. And at this moment in time, who wouldn't want to play with Isak? I think Isak in 2 years' time will be our Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, he could easily be.
Yeah, and we'll go on about Bruno being our key man. I tell you what, it could be Isak in a couple of years' time, because he's been injured for a while, but I tell you what, when I've seen him, some of the stuff he can do with that football is something else. It's been a while, put it that way. And I don't think there's out in the quote, honestly, but that's just my opinion.
It just might be me overlooking it. I just think when you overtalk a player who's wearing the shirt at the moment and has got it, and you're talking about someone that you've trained well with, I guess, and then should you be putting more effort into working with Wilson as well as working with Isak, because there is going to be times when you're not going to be on the pitch together, and you need to get that relationship as a squad. It's probably just me overlooking it. I just, sometimes I think you need to be careful what you say, because it can be taken the wrong way.
There must be good friends, Baz. It sounds to me like they get on well. They're good friends, and he just wants to play with them on the pitch. He's played with them numerous times. He's played with them, so he's probably thinking, I've never played with Isak before. I don't think there's out in it, but
yeah, you're probably right. It's just me overlooking it. Blade, you were shaking your head. What's your thoughts on it?
The reason I've got an issue with that quote is because I remember the one not that long ago where he said, "You'll see the best Maxi when I'm playing with the best players."
Yeah.
So I'm linking both quotes together and putting them both together. And he's like, right, what? So Wilson at the time when he said that quote was out injured. There was a couple of other Newcastle players out injured. So Maxi was having a go at the squad depth back then. Now he's having a go at Wilson, saying he prefers to play with Isak. Maxi, I think, needs to just keep his mouth shut and not mention individual players. No other player in our squad under Eddie mentions individual players. They mention the team, they mention the squad, they mention the backroom staff. They don't single out players.
That was my sort of thought of it, you see. And again, we both could be wrong. It could just be, like Gary said, really good friends. Blah, 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 blah. Caitlin, do you see anything in the quote? Do you agree with Gary, or are you on sort of Blade on my side that it's a little bit naughty maybe? Or he needs to shut up and just play because he's only coming on for 20 minutes?
It could be him trying to, be a bit sour about it, but at the same time, I think it's just him miscommunicating a bit there in his status, writing it a bit wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Has he been misquoted? Maybe potentially.
He could have been asked a question about Isa.
Yeah,
they've just put that quote out. You just don't know. The press are very clever.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, and they're sneaky, so you just don't know.
At manipulating things.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's a weird one. Right, last question for the night. Gary, have we done enough?
To go through.
Yeah.
Obviously. Well, you cannot say we've done enough because we've got 90 minutes to go, but I cannot see Southampton have got a beat to go through, and I cannot see them beating with St James's Park next week, not with that crowd behind them. I saw nothing from Southampton to tell me they'll come up here and win that game. So we haven't done enough, and because Eddie will say we haven't done enough either, but if we score in the first 10 minutes, game's over.
Yeah. Especially if they don't bring a proper crowd, Blade. They're going to be struggling to get going, potentially. I mean, they might think, well, if the fans are down in tools, we probably, we're in a relegation battle. We've got bigger games to think about, even though this is a semi-final of the Cup.
Like for them, I think they're going to be more bothered about the Prem than the Cup.
Go on, Blade.
Sorry, is that Caitlin? Me? I've got lag.
First. I know why it lags.
Yeah, well, Southampton are going to be a man down when they come up anyway, and not because they're sending off. It's because I think Gary's going to meet Armstrong off the bus and kick the shit out of him.
Love it.
Oh, man.
But after that, yeah, the only thing we've got to worry about at St James's is a Ward-Prowse free kick. So you keep it tight. I think we'll do them 3-0 or something at St James's anyway, but especially with the crowd, the noise, while like 90 minutes away from Wembley, there's no way Southampton we're going to, even if we're 1-0 down after that first leg, would have beat them 3-1 at St James's. Not an issue. So, yeah, no problems whatsoever. We're at the final. And, yeah, advanced 300 quid booking, mate, was well spent.
That makes no sense at all. Gary makes sense, Blade makes sense, Caitlin does too, along with Baz. Miss Steve, the Palace fan, cracking fella, that makes no sense at all. Brilliant. The way things are going, I'm not so sure a Toon scoring free. This gonna be, this always happens, doesn't it, in football, Caitlin? There comes a moment where you struggle to score, and then suddenly there's that release, and then you score 3 or 4 in a game. There's got to be, and it could be next Tuesday, couldn't it?
And that's what I just keep waiting for. And so does Nick, because all of his bets lately is 3-0, 3-1.
Well, if Nick listened
So
to
he's
me,
just
he
waiting
might have
for it.
actually won some money, because I have said in the last few games they're all going to be under 2.5 goals or something like that. And he would have won money if he listened to me. Wouldn't have been a lot, but at least he would have won. I mean, me personally, I build a bet, yeah. So under 2.5 goals. Mine, I would have got it wrong, because I did say there wouldn't be that many cards in the game, and there was about 9, I think, wasn't there? Something like that, 9 cards.
I wasn't expecting it to be as dirty as it was.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised.
It was like a hobby. It must be teams that are playing red and white, man. There must just be shit houses, you know. But I didn't expect it to be like that, man.
No, I didn't. I personally think we've done enough, because Southampton have got a FA Cup game, haven't they, at the weekend? We haven't. We've got a week to prepare, get ourselves ready, rest up properly, and you know, War Flags are going to do something special, aren't they?
Oh.
And it's going to be one hell of a night. I wish I was going, but I can't. It's transfer deadline day. I've got to be in front of this computer for almost 12 hours. So we'll be doing a watch along for it. You what, Caitlin?
I said, yes, we need the info.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you need. I want to be at the match, though. I had a ticket as well. Well, I could have had one, but wait a minute. Cross, back post, hits it. Damn it. Corner to Forest. I'll tell you what, Forest, if they can get one and take a 2-1 loss into Old Trafford, you know, Man United might get complacent, and you never know what might happen. They need to score. They need to score.
I'm being convinced by Man United. I think that Marcus Rashford, I'll tell you what, if he gets injured, they're not in trouble, but that is a massive blow for them if he pulls up injured. Because apart from Rashford at the minute, there's nothing in that team that frightens me if we get to the final and play them.
Yeah, I mean, Rashford is on fire, and here comes Jesse Lingard. But he gets a reception. Actually, he might get a good reception from the fans, because he called out everyone in the backroom staff, didn't he?
Yeah.
He might be all right.
So did Dean Henderson, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah,
he's still a Man United player. Well, he's still a Man United player, though.
Yeah, I know. That's what people were going on about it, because he was saying, like, he wanted to leave earlier, but they wouldn't let him. And he says they were trying to wreck my career and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, technically they were, I suppose. I think our defence can cope with anyone, to be completely honest with you. So, yeah, not a problem at all. Caitlin, the buzzing's been heard and the pawn's back in the chat, so you need to stop this buzzing.
Trust me, it's nothing that exciting.
Oh, man. They're bringing the big guns on now. I'm going to say 2-0 too. Unfortunately, I'm working nights on Tuesday. Oh, livid me. I hope you get to watch it. Right. Man, this bloody cough. Don't forget, guys, Friday night, Warren Barton is doing a talk, and it's £10. £10. 7:30, doors open. Get yourselves along. Me and Blade are going to be there. Lindsay's going to be there with Les. So that'll be a laugh, because when them two together, it's a proper grease. Caitlin, you going to come along?
Fridays? No, I work.
Yeah, but Friday night, Warren Barton, an absolute legend. He will be there, and all the money goes to the food bank from the tickets. So it's an unbelievable. Well, it will be an unbelievable night, to be fair. Still a chance to become a member if you want to. Links at the top of the chat. Click on it, follow the instructions, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button, guys. It really helps. And a massive thank you to all these people who are members. There's all your names in lights, guys. I know this one's duplicated. I need to redo it again, but it's a massive thank you from us for supporting the channel in the way that you do. And next month, we'll have a Newcastle signed Warren Barton shirt for a prize. And I think that's quite a good prize, personally. Our friend is in the chat. Fresh from his injury. I hope it's healing nicely now. Robert, another one shouldn't be cup tied. I don't know. I'm late again, aren't I? Yep, we're just finishing the show, mate. Caitlin bringing in the new sponsors. Really late. Damn it, he says. Right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Next show will be... What day are we on, guys? Wednesday.
Yeah.
Friday, maybe. We haven't got a game, so I'll think of something to do. We might have to, if we get some transfer rumours.
You can't do Friday.
Can't do Friday. I can do a vlog on Friday, though. A vlog.
No.
So, yeah. We'll think of something. I might do one tomorrow night if I get some info and we can have a chat about transfers and maybe do part 2 of the Maxi debate since I had to end it early. But thanks for tuning in as always, everyone. Thank you, Gary, Blade and Caitlin for joining the show as always. And we'll see you again very, very soon. So take care till then.
Yeah.